be able to do the performance of Porgy and Bess, which I was not. I mean, they weren't hiring, I'm sure, if they'd known that I was pregnant, but I was, and I got away with it. But having...
You mean 8 months pregnant, right?
Yeah, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, 8 months pregnant. So when I did this particular aria, it was wonderful because Erica would just, in my belly, she would just roll over when it was time to do the aria. And I was able to sing this wonderful, wonderful piece of music, and just knowing that she was in there, and she could hear me singing. I know, it was just a wonderful, it was a spiritual moment. I mean, I just felt her roll, and she knew that I was about ready to do this, and it was one of those eclectic moments.
Mama, I'm giving you room
Yes,
to belt it
exactly.
out, I guess.
Go for it, Mom.
Wonderful.
Hit that high note.
And you know, good thing you were a good hider, I guess, because I don't know if back then they would have let you. Yeah,
I came in with this black dress on, and the bump was pretty big, but I sang also for the conductor that at the audition, and that kind of I think that's what sealed it for me. And they asked people to come in he asked him to come in to listen, and that was a fine moment for me, I think. I'm trying to think of something.
Is there
else.
anything that I've
That
done
she did?
that impressed you, Mom?
Well, that impressed you. You flipping in her
I
belly.
flipped in her belly, right?
No, but I mean that was the beginning of your wonderful career, I think. But there's so many moments that I had with Erica as a performance. I just remember seeing her when she was doing episodes on Fame, and just watching them and sitting down and crying and not really being to believe that was this person that was my child, or our child, I think, Joey, and just watching her. And as she's grown, and as I've watched her perform, I watched her growth, and I'm very, very proud of who she's become as an artist and as an adult person.
And she goes to some pretty scary places these
She
days
has, and
with
I
her
think
work. I mean, good
911
kind of scary,
in
but
that
it's
911 episode she did. That
Oh.
was, I had no idea who that was. I could not believe. She scared the heck out of all of us. I mean, all the people that I knew. In that one moment, it was terrifying. It was terrifying that she would go that. I mean, that she had gone that far into the character, so that any moment she felt that she was going to just blow the whole gas station and herself up, and she didn't care. So that was one of those. That's the wonderful thing about art and about being an actor. And if you take it seriously, you can go to those places.
and you can go the distance.
And you can go the distance, and you learn how to do that. Safeguarding yourself as well, though. I mean, I just think that's the important thing. It's how you safeguard. But you're able to transcend who you are. And that's a wonderful joy about being an actor, because you can go places and become other people. And I think that's why we're all in this whole thing at some time.
Exactly. But you got to come from yourself to be the other people.
It's
Some
about
people,
your truth. I mean, it's about
like
she's
what
talking
Erica talked about.
You've got to delve into your truth and what that character resembles and means to you, and find the essence of who that person is.
That's great.
So you can do justice to who that person is for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you two, well, all you three, very deeply, you're big on prep and getting
I
it
tell you,
together
for
and
me-
being still with yourself and finding your.
That person that really helped me with my acting was Joe. I mean, he really did. He was relentless.
Well, I do have a question. It was going to be later, but how you all kind of tag team, encourage, support, or have people go after something they're scared of. Because when Joe would go sing, you'd prep him before he went out to sing.
Yes.
And I mean, I know y'all are always on the phone, so I don't know who's coaching who. But how did that kind of? I mean, I'll go back to some other stuff. But how did that kind of thing start? Because you all are. Champion for each other.
I'll just say this: when I auditioned for the high school for the performing arts, we grew up here. I grew up here in Manhattan Plaza, and auditioned. That was my dream, to go to performing arts, which is now LaGuardia. And Dad, it was the first snow and winter, and Dad walked me to my audition, and he worked with me on my monologues for the audition. And it was just that support of because when I was 5, I would be reading lines with my father, 10 for plays he was working on. So it was like this began very early.
Yes, it did.
But one story I wanted to share is that, when I was doing Fame too, my dad was out there, we would work on scenes, but I was doing a movie in Brazil, and I was having a really rough time, and I'm in the basement in this Brazil, and I'm calling Dad on my cell phone. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting connections. I'm like, Dad, I'm really having a hard time. And he's talking me through how to talk to the other actor who I was really being challenged with, and just having that conversation with him, that support. And I ended up taking his advice and talking to the other actor, getting clarity, which helped me move forward. But it's always been this net, and Mom has always been, when I'm feeling nervous about making a move or making a call, or because now I'm promoting getting my film off the ground,
Right.
and it's just she's like, come on, Erica, what are we doing today? What's the next step? Like, just this is what you're just that having that support. Just those calls mean so much.
And I'm pretty sure when you were doing Freedom, they both were talking to you
wow.
about that, because
I
that was a
mean,
big
we would-
movie.
no, Joe and I, we would have a conversation every night at the end of the day rehearsal, and I would tell him what I was doing, and yeah, I would read him scenes from lines from the next day's rehearsal or whatever we were doing, and he would advise me, or I would read something to him and he would give me some advice about that. But I remember there's one other thing about when I was doing this play in Connecticut, and I didn't make a pie. We had to make a pie in this play, and Joe said to me, "Well, have you made a pie yet?" I said, "No." We spent at least 2 hours making a pie.
While you did your lines.
While I was doing my lines.
Yeah.
Perfect, that your dad knew exactly what to do, man. He could have been a
You better
Boku
do this.
director,
And
man.
let me tell you, it was hysterical because my mom was the pie maker and she was the wonderful cook in our family. But pies were out of my realm. I didn't know what pie. Are you kidding? So it was always Mom who was making the pie. So I had to do this little thing, make the dough and all of this, roll the dough out and make this pie. It was an apple pie. So I had to pretend there was apples in there and then put the filling on top and the bottom, and then fill in the apples and put on the top. But when we did the play, actually, all I had to do was roll out the dough and put the bottom in the pan.
Yeah, but you had all the backstory. You had the history. You had your history.
I had all of that
Right.
behind me.
Right.
Before I did this, and it was just, I thought, oh my God, and he was really relentless. No,
He on the details. My man was about the
Really?
details.